Hi everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're taking a look at the Smith & Wesson Model 66. It is a K-frame 357 Magnum. This case, it is the 66-8. This is a new production. It's also called the Combat Magnum. Now, this one in particular has a 2.75-inch barrel, so an almost 3-inch barrel. I'm not sure why they didn't just make it 3 inches, but I guess it's just to make it a little easier to carry. It comes with rubberized grips. They're not terribly sticky grips, which is nice, but they are rubbery. Now, this is a great size for carry. Like I said, it's in 357 Magnum. It's got a 6-round capacity. It's obviously a single double action revolver. It's got adjustable sights in the back and a front ramp with a red insert. And all in all, it's relatively light with a total weight unloaded of 33.01 ounces, so just barely over 33 ounces. Now, these K-frame revolvers are very popular for carry. They're a good size as far as not being too large as far as the frame. I actually like K-frames quite a bit. I've done prior videos shooting my Model 19. Now, that's an old classic one. You can tell this is new production because it does have the little lock mechanism on there. I know a lot of people don't like that lock mechanism, and I agree with you completely. And this revolver does not belong to me. It belongs to a friend of mine. Just bought a few different firearms and asked me to function check them and sight them in. So thank you very much, John, for letting me use your firearms for these next couple of videos. And when I say couple, it's going to be 4 in total. He lent me this Smith & Wesson. There's a Model 19 Glock that he wants me to sight in. It has a Wesson sight on it. A Daniel Defense AR-15 I'm very excited to try out. And a Benelli M4 shotgun, which I've never used before. So it's kind of like a John Wick Starter Pack. All very good firearms. All, well, not all very expensive. The Glock in itself isn't terribly expensive. It's probably the least expensive of the group. Although throw the Wesson on it, and although the Wessons are considered budget options for red dots compared to some of the US manufactured stuff, they're not cheap. So altogether, it ends up making some of these firearms about I think this one's got a MSRP of about $1,000. I'm sure you can find it less than that. But the Glock with the Wesson on it, you're probably talking close to $1,000 as well. The Daniel Defense, I think you're getting close to $3,000, and it's got some optics on it as well, which puts it over that mark. And I think the Benelli M4s, they're probably around $1,500. I don't know. I don't own one. But I'm very excited to shoot them all. And we're going to start with this Smith & Wesson Model 66-8. Now, as you can tell, it looks pristine. I think it's brand new. I don't think it's ever been fired. So to open up the cylinder, you push this latch forward and then pop the cylinder out. You can see there it's 6 shots. And the reason I think it's never been fired is because look at the front face of the cylinder there. There's no wear, there are no rings. So if you look there, it's completely smooth, completely clean. Same thing for the forcing cone. The forcing cone does not look like it's ever had any rounds put through it. At least not from either side, nor is there a mark up here that usually starts to form once you're putting a lot of rounds through. That's something that you have to kind of keep clean to make sure that powder doesn't build up there. So these may be the first rounds through it. I'm going to shoot it here at 20 yards. I've got a couple of different manufacturers of ammunition. I have some Blazer and some Federal. They're both 158 grain. One is a jacketed hollow point, the other one is a jacketed soft point. And I believe 158 grain is probably pretty good, or as far as what these revolvers are meant to shoot. Obviously, there are other weights out there, heavier and lighter, for different people have a desire to shoot a different weight out of their firearm. But, you know, before we start, since this is a new pistol, now it hasn't been broken in, once again, we'll check it, see that it is unloaded. It is double or single action, so you can just pull the trigger. And it's very smooth, even what I'm assuming is new out of the box. That's very smooth. Yeah, and a nice and light single action. So actually, so it's not just my subjective test here. Let me pull out the trigger gauge and let's check out and see what the double and single action trigger weights end up being. So I've got my Wheeler trigger gauge going. Let's start out with double action. I'm going to rest it on this bag here just to make it a little more steady. This isn't the most steady table. As you can see, it shakes around a little bit because this isn't really meant to be a shooting table, although I've been using it for many, many years. But once again, we'll check here, show that it is unloaded. And I'm going to see what the double action trigger pull is showing here. 10.38 pounds. Or I'm sorry, 10 pounds, 3.8 ounces. Try to center the gauge on the center of the trigger and pull straight back. 10 pounds, 9.2 ounces. 10 points, 4.3 ounces. So yeah, very steady, or very consistent, I should say. And that is a heavier double action, but not unnecessarily heavy. That's typically what a double action on a revolver is going to be as far as weight goes. But I can tell you, it doesn't feel that heavy. I don't know if it's just because it's so smooth, but it feels nice and smooth. So let's go ahead and try the single action trigger. 4 pounds, 14.1 ounces. 4 pounds, 10.4 ounces. 5 pounds, 1.1 ounces. So yeah, somewhat consistent. Just under 5 pounds would be the average at 4 pounds, 12.2 ounces. So now that we've tested that out, let's go ahead and I'm going to put some rounds downrange there at, like I said, I've got it set at 20 yards down there. I'm going to rest on this bag. I don't want any precision issues to be mine, although there will be. There's always user, as I say in all my videos, there's always going to be a certain amount of user error. But if I do rest my hands, I'll make sure that I'm probably hitting as precise as I can. And that way, if I do need to adjust his rear side a little bit, which I will do for him, I'm going to try to make sure that at least these 158 grain rounds are hitting in the center of the target. So let's go ahead and get it loaded up. Okay, we've got 6 rounds in. We're starting off with this Blazer. It's a 158 grain jacketed hollow point. We'll see where we're hitting there down at the target. Oh, almost forgot. Let me turn on my target camera. And here we are ready to go. I am going to shoot these in single action. I'm going to rest my hands on the bag. I'm not resting the firearm on the bag, just my hands. I'm trying to get as much accuracy and precision out of this as I can before I even consider messing with his sights. But let's see where we are hitting on target. And anyway, this grip is nice. It's rubberized. Like I said, it's not a sticky rubber, but it does feel comfortable. It's very big. You can see it fits my hand very well. So let's see how well we do. Ooh, very low and to the left. Okay, consistently low and to the left. So let me adjust the sights a little bit. I've put 3 rounds. Precision's not bad. They're all kind of grouping in the same area, but accuracy is terrible. Let me try to get that point of impact a little further up. Okay, I've adjusted the sights, hopefully correctly. I just don't have the instructions for this firearm. He let me the firearm, not the instructions. And although I will say my friend, and hopefully you're watching this, John, although he buys great firearms, let's see, these holsters leave something to be desired. Get a nicer holster for your firearm, maybe something in leather, look cool. Anyway, let's see, I may have over adjusted. Let's see where we're hitting now. Okay, it is higher. At least I adjusted the height right, but didn't seem to drift over to the right much. Okay, looks like we're almost there. Ooh, I must have yanked one of those. Okay, well, I'm going to drift the sight a little more to the right. It looks like an elevation I'm okay, except for one of those that seemed to go up. That's probably me. And now let's try some of the American Eagle. Let's see if we're getting these guys into the red. Oh, I felt like I yanked that shot a little bit. Let's see here. A little high, although at least it looks like it's drifted to the right enough. Okay, mosquito, stop flying around my eyeball, please. There we see here. Yeah, it looks like I'm hitting better as far as windage, but I may need to drop elevation a little bit. Yeah, let me do that. Oh, wait, that one's on red. Let's finish it up. We got 3 more here. Okay, was that a dud, or had I already fired? Yeah, I fired 6. Okay, we're gonna load in 6 more rounds. What I do like about the rear sight is you do feel positive clicks, whether you're adjusting windage or elevation. It's not just friction holding it down. There must be little notches in there that it clicks one to the next. So we got 6 rounds in. Let's see if I can get into the red. Well, I got one in the red. Let's see if we can stay in the red. That would be nice. Not sure where I'm hitting. I think that's in the red. Oh, that one I pulled to the right a little bit. Do I still need to drift the sight over a little more to the right? Huh. Yeah, see, that one I felt like maybe I pulled a little to the left. That was 6, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Okay, let's go take a look at the target real quick. And here we are at the target. If I remember correctly, first 3 shots, second 3 were these 2 and then this one. And then I started grouping up here. So I'm assuming these must be a lot of the newer shots. So I guess on elevation I've gotten better, but I'm still hitting a little to the left. Now I don't know if that's me or if that's the firearm. I'm going to, should I adjust it a little more to the right? I mean, it's not bad. It is 20 yards, and 20 yards, I mean, it's not terribly far, but it's a decent distance for a under 3-inch barrel on a 357 Magnum. Certainly fine for self-defense purposes, as long as you're not shooting, you know, at 50, 100, 150 yards. And if you're shooting that far with well, it's not really a snub nose revolver, but it's almost a snub nose revolver, then you're an amazing shot. But yeah, you know what, I think I don't know, I'm sort of hesitant because I hit these really well in the center as far as windage goes, and it may be that I'm getting a little gun shy and starting to pull to the left a little bit when I squeeze the trigger. Let's do this. Let's fire 6 more and see where we hit. So 6 more rounds, once again with the Federal jacketed soft point. I put a new shoot and see target on top of the old target just so I know exactly where my new bullets are hitting, or where these bullets are hitting. And not only that, sometimes with that larger target, that bigger red center, it makes it harder to get your shots precise because it's such a large bullseye. With a smaller bullseye, it tends to steady my shots a little bit more in the sense that I'm aiming at the same place more consistently. At least I think I am. So that being said, before I start talking up my shooting abilities and embarrass myself on camera again, let's see where we're hitting. Okay. Oh, yanked one. Okay. Huh. Should I adjust it down some more? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly click it, maybe one more, moving it back to the left. And I'm going to lower it maybe a click or maybe just 1 click, since I did get 2 that were right on the bullseye. And then I'm going to leave it. Well, and then we'll shoot some more. Why not? I got ammo and this is fun. So let me do that. Whew. So 6 more rounds. I've got them loaded up. Hopefully I'll keep my shots steady. Let's see if the slight adjustments affect our point of impact. A little low, that one. Should I adjust it one more click to the left? See, the problem as well with this is, oh, wait a second, I only fired 5. See, that punk would have been very unlucky. Let's see here. I think elevation's fine now. I think I'm hitting a little to the right. So I'm gonna click the rear sight one more click to the left. And then I'm gonna leave it as is and give it back to my friend and say, if it doesn't hit bullseye, it's on him. Here, let me see here. And ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna finish this video. I loaded it with 6 more rounds. I'm gonna take some smooth double action shots at that steel just to see how nice the trigger feels. Oh yeah. Yes, very nice. I mean, for out of the box, I expect this trigger is going to get better with time. As you can see here, now we're starting to get a powder ring there from using the Revolver, so it's finally broken in a little bit. And I will say, for new production Smith & Wesson, out of the box, it feels nice. It's a good trigger. So once again, the Smith & Wesson K-frame Model 66 Combat Magnum. Beautiful pistol, beautiful revolver, shoots great right out of the box, comfortable grips, nice smooth double action, crisp and light single action. And although it took a little bit of tweaking to get the bullets on target as far as for me, I'm hoping that works well as well for my friend. You really can't go wrong. Really can't go wrong. I'll give Smith & Wesson props on the fact that they're still producing some wonderful, wonderful revolvers. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I will see you in the next one.